What's going on, Jerome's? That's right. The new merch, it's coming. Producer Allie's putting together the storefront. It's going to be good times. We're going to have so much stuff. Jerome's production value. All that stuff. Zoom in, enhance. Focus. But the camera's not focusing. Anyway, focusing on one of the main questions that people have about training camp. How's the rookies looking? How is Lewis Seen, Caleb Evans, Ed Ingram, Andrew Booth Jr. and company looking? Well, we got some thoughts. Now, this is a combination of eyewitness accounts as well as what some of the beat writers are reporting, as well as sources. That's right. I have a very trusting face. This is a trusting face. People tell me things. So there we go. Gonna dive on in. And Quase's rookie class, it's looking pretty good. Looking pretty damn good so far. So up at the top, you got Lewis Seen. Now, I like Lewis Seen's attitude. He's come in. He's obviously got some swagger to him. Maybe not as much as Andrew Booth Jr., but he's putting in the work. Like, he's biding his time because he's saying all the right things, and I actually believe him, because you've seen a lot of first-round picks. You've seen a lot of non-first-round picks where there used to be the big man on campus. They come in with an attitude and entitlement, but Lewis Seen, he doesn't have that. He is a true blue lunch pail worker guy, and I think that he is going to be fantastic. Like, he's just biding his time. He's soaking up all the knowledge from Harrison Smith as well as Patrick Peterson in that secondary, and I think that he's going to be a really great player for the Vikings. But the problem is, right now he's stuck behind Harrison Smith, who's a legend, should be in the Hall of Fame someday, as well as Cameron Bynum. Cam Beasley is one of the most pleasant surprises of training camp so far. He's been phenomenal. Even though he's had some ups and downs, I think he's really securing his spot as a starter on this defense. Now, that could be as a traditional safety. That could be in three safety looks, which the Vikings defense has deployed quite a bit because, I mean, of course, you're trying to get as many of your best players out there as possible. And if it's three safeties, so be it. So, Lewis Seen. Also, the best part about Seen is being that enforcer. Now, generally, you're not going to light up your teammates across the middle. He ain't going to do that. So the best of him is going to be in preseason games. So just, he's just champing at the bit, waiting for the Raiders game. It's just like, hey, Hunter Renfrow over the middle, back, just bam. Yeah, that's going to be the best part. Andrew Booth Jr. So he's the rookie who's probably made the biggest splash so far. He's got a motor mouth. He is chippy. He's going to get after it. Now, we're not talking about Trevor Penning starting a fight every single day. Like, first off, Trevor Penning coming out of Northern Iowa, he has had this reputation for being borderline dirty, sort of Conrad Dobler, definitely Kyle Turley. That's why it was ironic that he got drafted by the Saints. And then everyone's like, oh my goodness, he's starting fights in camp. Of course. That's exactly what you got with Trevor Penning. Anyway, so Andrew Booth Jr., he's a guy who gets after it as well. He's got great talent. He's got very smooth hips. Love the length. Love the agility. He looks completely healthy. I'm glad that he was able to go 100% at the start of training camp. They took it very slow with him as he recovered from the core muscle surgery. But he's outside with the twos with a Caleb Evans, by the way. So two rookies with the twos. And second-team defense squares off against first-team offense quite a bit. And he holds his own against Jefferson and Thielen and KJ, etc. So, I mean, Booth Jr. is going to be a dude. He's going to be a dude, man. And it's sort of offset because dancers look good. Patrick Peterson has looked really damn phenomenal, man. He's looked good. And when Patrick Peterson got a veteran day on Tuesday, Booth Jr. was with the ones opposite of Cameron Tiny Dancer. So it's something to watch for. Ed Ingram. So if I had to do an over-under week 4, actually no. After the bye week 7, I think Ed Ingram is going to be starting. I do. And that's not aspersion on anyone else, but I think Ed Ingram may just be too good to be leaving off of the game day starting 5, where he's been solidly second-team right guard, got first-team run when Jesse Davis had a veteran day on Tuesday. So I think that he's been good in one-on-ones. He's been holding his own. He's got a great anchor. I think pass protection is going to be his strong suit to start off with. So I think that Kwesi, even though Ingram, obviously had some things that knocked down his draft stock, as well as a lot of draft prognosticators saw him as a round 3, round 4 type guy, taking him at 59 in the second round. It's starting to look pretty good. And I think once he moves some people in the preseason games, then I think there might be more clamoring to get Ingram on the field. Third round pick, Brian Osamoa, number 66 overall. So Osamoa, sort of quiet in training camp so far, but also it's hard to really light things up and make some noise as a linebacker or a safety who your primary focus is hitting. But Osamoa's got great range. He's very agile, mobile, agile, hostile. I think that he's going to be great as a coverage linebacker in this new defensive scheme. But he's clearly inside linebacker 4 because it goes Kendricks, it goes Jordan Hicks, who's looked pretty good. The veteran turning back time a little bit, as well as Troy Dye has really been crowned the de facto third linebacker, which is good because he's really starting to get things together. Now, Osamoa, I think, will contribute mightily on special teams. I think that's where he's going to make his dough to start with. Plus, he's just got a fun attitude, and he will be that heat-seeking missile on kickoffs, on punt coverage, where he's just going to go out and find the ball carrier. He's got a very good nose for the football. 4th-round pick. So Caleb Evans, a very nice camp, and we left him off our winners and losers list because I thought that this was what was expected. I mean, Caleb Evans probably should and could have been a late day 2 selection. Got great tape at Missouri. He's got great size and length on the outside, great agility. Also is really good at Tulsa, and I think that he and Booth and Dantzler, I mean, the future at outside cornerback is in very good hands for the Vikings. He's been solidly running with the 2s, ahead of Harrison Hand, which is unfortunate. 38 special, my guy, as well as I think Evans has greatly benefited from Chris Boyd being out because Boyd has been limited. No word yet on what's going on with him, but I think Chris Boyd would have gotten those second-team reps instead of Evans if he was a full go. So whatever there. Sezio Tomeu coming in from the Gophers is a 5-tech. I think that he does have potential down the line, but as of right now, would I say that he's going to make the roster? I don't know. I could easily see him being waived and put on the practice squad as a priority guy, but he's been working with Diesel Dalvin Tomlinson, putting in that work after practices. You love to see that. Hasn't stood out good or bad in one-on-ones, and sometimes that's okay. As long as you're not getting embarrassed or just completely worked, I mean, that's okay. Fellow 5th-round pick, number 169, damn good time, Ty Chandler, the running back out of the North Carolina. Come on, raise up. He got a little bit of run as King Kene has been out with that lower leg soft tissue injury. Can we just say calf? I mean, because everyone knows that it's calf. Just say calf, right? But also, he got some run when Dalvin and Madison had those freak finger injuries. But I mean, Ty Chandler is fun, man. Like, he's a scat back. He's a joystick player. He's Alvin Kamara light, you could say. So, I mean, Ty Chandler's going to be a player in this league, man. Pretty fired up about him. Again, the Vikings have the deepest running back room in the National Football League, which is good since everyone hurts their phalanges. It's frustrating, man. 6th-round pick, number 184 overall, Vidarian Lowe. So he's been the 3rd-team left tackle. Missed a day early in training camp, and we pegged him as a guy who I could see on the practice squad. You stash him for a couple years, get him some NFL coaching. You love his character, you love his upside physically, and I think that in a couple years maybe he could be a guy who takes over Blake Brandel's swing tackle job potentially, because eventually what's going to happen, Blake Brandel will be out of contract. He's in year 3 now, and then you're probably not going to sign your swing tackle to big money, so maybe he goes off and gets a free agent deal, and then Vidarian Lowe steps up as your swing tackle. Could easily see that progression. Also sticking in the 6th round, number 191 overall, wide receiver Jalen Speedy Naylor out of the Michigan State University. Now, I understand. A lot of people criticize Jalen Naylor's like, oh, you have the nickname Speedy and you run a 4.45 40. Well, it's not just running in a straight line in your underwear in Indianapolis. It's talking about acceleration. Like how quickly can you turn on the jets? Like, what's your 10-yard split? After you catch a bubble screen, how quickly are you gone? After you come in out of a break, out of your roots, and you get that ball, how quickly can you turn upfield? That's where Jalen Naylor butters his bread. And he's connected with Kirk and Mon on a couple of nice deep balls. Also, he is in the thick of the punt return race. I think they got KJ back there. I don't think that's going to fly because I think he's going to be a big part of this offense. But I think it's going to come down between Jalen Naylor and Amir Smith-Marset to return punts. I think he'll get settled in preseason. But, yeah, I think Naylor is probably going to make the team, but it's really tough right now because there's a bit of a logjam. So it's Jefferson, Thielen, KJ. ISM, I think, is clearly wide receiver 4, and you're probably going to carry 6 wide receivers, but B.C. Johnson isn't going away. Myron Mitchell has had a hell of a camp. Same thing with Tristan Jackson. So I think Naylor makes the roster. If he wins the punt return job, he's definitely making it. But yeah, the competition for those final roster spots at wide receiver is going to be interesting, as well as practice squad, by the way, because I don't know if Dan Chisena makes it. I don't know, man. And then finally, 7th round pick, tight end Nick Muse coming out of South Carolina. So the focus at tight end has been Irv Smith with his freak thumb injury. Hopefully he's going to be ready to go for week 1. But it's been on Munt and Davidson, and they've been getting the bulk of the first, second, and third team reps. Also, the Vikings, the past 2 seasons have either led or been near the top of the National Football League in multi-tight end sets. That's definitely not the case this time around. A lot more 11 personnel. So tight end usage is going to be a little bit sparse. So he hasn't really gotten the time of day, and it just sort of is what it is at this point. But that's it. That's a roundup of how the rookies have been looking at training camp so far. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. Also, merch coming soon. Skull production value.